Yeah, that feels good. That feels pretty good. Bossing's chill. Bossing's chill. We're good with bossing. Not a problem. Just because it's easy. That's pretty quick. Yo, that's pretty quick. Not gonna lie. That feels pretty good still. I like it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Woo. That's a spicy meatball damage. Oh, hell yeah. We got a Megalo selling? That open.
Believe me, you will fall exile.
Easy. I didn't even need, I put the Omen of Resurgence on just in case. I didn't need it. I didn't need it.
Serve me whether you like it or
Hey YouTube, I'm just Anthony. Welcome back to another Path of Exile 2 build video for the Blood Mage. We just had the big 0.2.1 update that was supposed to be updating the loot of the game. It was supposed to be giving us new chase uniques. We got 9 new chase uniques. We got new soul cores. We got new ruins. We got some reworks with Expedition. We've got the Breach Stone rework. Omens are supposed to be dropping more frequently. A lot of great changes. Go read the patch notes. It's pretty good. But when we started playing this patch, we encountered a problem. GGG fixed 2 support gems that we were using in Choir of the Storms. This is a pseudo nerf to the build. We did get around it by changing up all of the support gems and changing up the build a little bit. I played for many hours last night after the patch dropped just to get this going because people needed to know what we changed to make the build still viable. And do not worry, the build is still viable. As you saw from the start of the gameplay, we are good. No problems. Do not panic. The build still functions just fine. We just had to do some swapping. So we're going to go over that real quick. All the mobalytics by the time I drop this video should be updated. All the variants of mobalytics for the main 4 variants, not counting the lightning warp and the auto bomber, those are secondary variants. Those do not use arcs and such. Those have to be tested a little bit more, but all of the other 4 variants, our standard variants, have been updated all the way up to that Sacred Flame variant on mobalytics. Sacred Flame variant is probably the variant most people should be aiming for. The Sacred Flame variant is probably the most stable and best variant you can do for the character. It just gives you so much in the form of offense. It gives you spirit. It gives you defense with a huge fire resist aura. It's just really good. So jumping into it, don't forget, check out mobalytics. So the things that people are going to want to know right off the bat are your lightning bolt from Choir of the Storm. They made it where we can no longer use considered casting or spell echo. Both of those and Dawn of the Hunt were already not supposed to be working in triggered spells, but they were still working in Choir of the Storm. Now, GGG did say in the past that they weren't going to nerf or fix things in between leagues, but apparently this is something that they felt needed to be fixed. So they disabled considered casting and spell echo in Choir of the Storms. So it removed 2 support gems in our Choir. That's okay. No biggie. Not a huge deal. We got around it. We are still using the ingenuity and the concentrated effect. We were using these already before. Spell Echo is getting replaced by Spell Cascade, and the considered casting is getting replaced by Deliberation. Now, Spell Cascade is not the same as Spell Echo, but it is actually still offering a fantastic alternative. It is still hitting multiple times and incorporating more AoE into your build, which is great because Lightning Bolt is hitting for less damage now, but if it's hitting for more times, especially while mapping, you're getting Lightning Bolts hitting all over the place with multiple targets, and it makes mapping feel fantastic, actually. Without Spell Cascade and you don't put this in, many of you are probably noticing an immediate nerf to your character when you might be trying to map and do other stuff. We did solve this with Spell Cascade, so do not worry. Just to going over again, my gear is pretty good on my character. My average damage per use right now on my Lightning Bolt is down to 38,000. And it was just over 60,000 before with Spell Echo. So, this is being nerfed, though, because the Spell Cascade gives us 30% less damage. Pretty hefty hit. But it's hitting multiple times. So don't forget that. It's still, don't get me wrong, this is still not enough damage compared to what we used to do. This is a nerf to the character, but it is a minor nerf, all right? Let's jump down. We did change Orb of Storms, and we did change both of our critical cast on criticals. Orb of Storms you're going to see on all the Mobalytics variants. The big changes are we are using Overcharge and Commiserate on the Orb of Storms. This is going to give us 80% shock magnitude. This is mainly for bosses. 80% increased shock magnitude, and then if you have some extra magnitude on your jewels, which I have updated on Mobalytics as well, if you could get like 100% shock magnitude, that is nice. Double the magnitude of the shocks you're inflicting is going to help out, especially with pinnacle bosses. Cast on criticals, these are the two things that we had to change by moving support gems around, and this is what I found last night to be really good and working really well for mapping, simulacrum, just all content. It worked for everything I was doing, and it was super simple. So on the first cast on critical, I am using 2 arcs. These are level 21 corrupted arcs, so they are level 28 with my gear. The support gems we are using now in the 2 arcs are going to be Inspiration, Elemental Focus, and Storm Chain, a new addition. It seems to be working out very well. This requires more testing, but just off of initial testing, this has actually been making the map clear feel pretty darn good. Spark is going out, hitting everything, chaining between targets. Those targets are being hit by Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt has from our choir, has a 200% more chance to shock. Targets are getting shocked left, right, and center. Arcs are already firing, and they already chain not up to 9 times. But for whatever reason, it looks like the Storm Chain is causing them to chain possibly additional times. Which, if that's the case, that is amazing for clearing and map clearing particularly. But this still requires further testing. We are using this for now. Going in our second cast on critical, I do have the 2 sparks, one on each side here. I'm using lower level sparks for now, just to reduce the damage done to myself, because I have a lot of rarity gear on. I have a little bit less damage than I'm supposed to. I'm not using my AS tier equipment. I'm using a lot of rarity gear. So I'm trying to reduce the damage done to me. You can level these sparks up as much as you want for more damage. That's not a problem. The support gems I'm using, Gamble Shot, and I'm using both energy retention and impetus. Therefore, we can get massive amount of sparks. We just want sparks proccing non-stop to fill the screen up with spark. They're chaining, they're hitting all the targets. You're getting lots of Choir of the Storm procs. Choir of the Storm's getting a ton of Spell Cascade procs, and all of those hits are just feeding into your 2 arcs, your double arcs. It's fantastic. That's for mapping. Now for bossing, I have another cast on critical down here just for example. For bossing, we are still going to be using the 3 arcs in our second COC. The first COC you can keep on. So for bossing, pinnacle bossing, the Zesht kills that you saw at the start of the video, we're going to deactivate this one. And then we're going to do two things. All you're going to do is move Impetus down, and then it's going to have Lightning Mastery and Impetus. So Lightning Mastery is just +1. That's making all three of these arcs level 29 arcs for me personally, whatever it will be for you. And then Impetus, because there's three of them, is just going to help all three of these arcs generate more, energy quicker. And then we're going to swap Storm Chain and Energy Retention for bosses. That is it. And then you would turn this guy on. If you don't have a third cast on crit, you are going to have to carry these gems with you into like Zest or something and swap them out on your second cast on critical. I know people hate swapping gems, but you have to do it. And then when you're ready to go back to mapping, you could just turn these off, turn this back on. Move Impetus up, swap out Energy Retention and Storm Chain. That's it. Swap, move down. That's all I have to do. For Pinnacle bosses, the Lightning Bolt does not change. You're still going to use the Ingenuity, the Concentrated Effect, the Cascade, and the Deliberation. No change there. For Spark, I am still using Arcane Tempo, Fork, Persistence, Acceleration, and Mobility. And then, of course, that Arctic Armor for that nice layer of offense, defense. We got the Cold Penetration, Cold Mastery, Bludgeon, Glaciation. And that's it. I do have 4 cast on criticals just because I've been playing this character a lot and we experiment a lot. I like to use the other cast on criticals to hold my extra gems so I don't have to have them in my inventory. So ignore that there's 4 casts. On Mobilytics, on the Sacred Flame, you're going to see 4 cast on criticals because it's showing you the mapping setup, and then I've made a punch line. So there's a punch ability on Mobilytics. And then the second 2 cast on criticals and Mobilytics are showing your Pinnacle boss setup, which is what I just showed you with the swaps. This has been working for me just fine. You guys saw the gameplay. So how the gameplay works, when you're mapping, nothing changed. You're just casting shot or spark. Nothing changed. Cast spark. As you see, it hurts me a lot, but that's because we're spell leeching. Everybody knows how this works. You spell leech with the blood mage, with the blood magic. So map clearing, you just cast spark. That's it. For Pinnacle bossing, you're dropping Sigil and Orb right before the boss is about to engage in combat. You do it right before just so you have maximum, uptime on your orbs. Orb of Storms, you're going to want to replace Expanse with Overabundance, so you can have 2 orbs. I also put that in the description on the Mobilytics on the skills area. At the bottom, I put replace Expanse with Overabundance, so you can drop 2 orbs on the boss, on the Pinnacle boss. This is more lightning hits, and since the orb is applying shock, 2 orbs just makes sure we get that 80% magnitude, increased magnitude of shock from the orb support gems. And then, of course, 2 orbs, more hits on the boss, more hits, more crits is more energy. You guys already know it. More energy is more cast on crit. You saw how fast Zesh died. You saw how fast King of the Mist died. That was a tier 4 simulacrum I shown at the start of the video. That is hard as simulacrum gets. And we did that, no problem. Easy peasy. So do not fret, guys. The build is not killed. Now, I will say this build is still gear dependent. You still need a lot of damage, or else you're going to have to just use, don't juice your 15s. You might not be able to do tier 4 simulacrum. You might not be able to do the juiciest of T15, T16 maps until you get your gear better. But that could be said with a lot of builds. Until you invest in the build, it's not going to do giga godlike damage. Everybody should know that by now. So get what you can. I'm going to be gone this weekend. I am making this video in a hurry right now before I go to my Phoenix Comic-Con. I'm going to be out for possibly the next 3 days. I might try to stream when I get home for a few hours tonight. But unfortunately, I cannot enjoy this patch, so I hope everybody else is going to enjoy the patch for me. I will be walking around my Phoenix Comic-Con for the next 3 days and having a blast. So no matter what, you will see me back online on Monday, hopefully for a big 12-hour stream, just to do a little catch up. But anyways, guys, now I'm just ranting. That was it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments down below. I will try my best to answer your questions, but hopefully the Mobalytics guide, it will help you enough. So anyways, guys, go get your Ring of Calandras. I heard they're raining from the sky. Ring of Calandras are raining from the sky. Spirit Howls are raining. Loot got massively buffed. Go enjoy yourself. I'm just Anthony, and I'll see you next time.